cracking lacking? What's shaking bacon? What's everybody up to on this fine Friday? On this Firme Friday. What's everybody getting themselves into on this beautiful, warm day? Well, warm where I'm at. I don't know about anywhere else, but I forget that other people come from like all different places, right? You know, it's crazy for it being winter and us being in December. We haven't really gotten no rain or nothing like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. It gets cold in the night, but not as much as I remembered it would get cold. You know what I mean? I feel like this has been a pretty warm, winter for us. What's cracking like in my boy? Official 223 kid. What's good, my boy? What's a good life saying? What you getting yourself into? You know, as we just chilling right here on our lunch break, trying to see what's cracking. Have you made a video on the Longo gang in LBC? Hell yeah, my boy. I made several. I got several homies that are Longo. I got several homies, real good homies of mine from Longo. From West and East. You know what I mean? Shout out to Chino, Sharpie. Shout out to Güero, of course. You know, can't forget about the homie Güero. The homie Jaws. Shout out to Jaws. Shout out to all the homies out of Longo. Firme homies of mine. They cool. What's good, Mr. Pasa? What's cracking lacking? What does a good life say? Oh, Gunner, shout out to Gunner. Spencer Gunner, you know, I ain't gonna leave you out, my boy. Gunner out of the west side of Long Beach. West side Longos. That's the boy too. Can't forget about the homie. I almost left you out, my boy. I ain't even gonna lie. And that I just seen homie like 2 days ago. I wanted to ask you, have you made a G Life on Redlands? There's a couple of others. Yeah, I made a G Life in Redlands, Simon. Yeah. Barrio Redlands and Northside Redlands. I know that and Redland Locals, there you go. There's 3 Redland gangs. No, actually, there's 4 or 5. There's 5 gangs in Redland because you have the Redland barrios and then you have the Highland Colonia, which is, I know it's in the city of Highland, right? But they also borderline Redland as well, right? So you have them, and then you have what's that other barrio? KBS, right? That they're not originally from that area, but they landed there and they, recruited, I guess, so they're established there. So there's several barrios within, Redlands. So, yeah. So there's several gangs in Redlands. And I know that sometimes people get mad and they're like, that's not true. Ain't nothing there. And it's like, bro, I could believe you, who I don't know who you are in the comments, right? And never met you, don't know, who the hell you are. I could believe you, or I could believe what I physically went and seen with my own eyes and conversations that I had with individuals and the pictures that I'm seeing and what I'm seeing in actual real life in real time, hanging out and drinking a beer. I could believe you, your words in the comments, or I could believe what I'm physically seeing. So, gonna have to go with, what I'm seeing, And it's almost like people, I don't know, bro. It's like, I don't understand why people get like like, hey, bro, if it's true, it's true. Then you may not like them sections or them neighborhoods or whatever, but I mean, lying is, I mean, come on now. Let's keep it 100, bro. It's crazy because fools like to say that there's nobody in their area except them. Yeah, they say how they always gangbanging and putting in work. If you guys are the only ones there, there's nobody around. Who are you guys gangbanging against? Who are you guys putting in work against if there's nobody there? If you guys run the whole shebang, then who are these people that you're putting in work on? And why are you putting in work on them? Obviously, they must have done something in order to get you guys mad, right? So if they don't put in work, then how were they able to do the thing that itself is the reason why you're targeting them? Like, let's stop with the fuckery and tell it how it is, bro. Because these arguments never make any sense, bro. Like, hey, if I was to believe what everybody says in the comments, bro, that nobody was active and nobody's out there and nobody's ever putting in work and nothing ever happens. If I was to literally believe everything that I see in the comments, then nobody puts in work, and we live in a peaceful world because there's nobody out there, there's nobody putting in work, nobody does anything. So in all true reality, there shouldn't be no graffiti on the walls. There shouldn't be nothing, no shootings, nothing, bro, because nobody does nothing. If I was to really believe what I read in the comments, because everybody always puts, I think, no lie, I think I have read about each and every single barrio out there that they're not around, they don't put in work, that's it, and it's like, and why the fuck are bodies dropping and candles everywhere and shit like that, bro? Like, what the fuck? Like, if I was really to believe everybody's comments, bro, then I would just be like, yeah, it's kind of, hard to believe, when you fucking have, bodies dropping left to right. It's kind of like, bro, come on now. Keep it real. Did you find blood in, blood out to be corny? Yes. No lie. This is facts, bro, on everything I love, bro. When me and the homies watched that movie, we watched it, several of the homies, we watched it. Bro, we were laughing our asses off, bro. We couldn't believe the shit that we were watching, supposedly proclaiming to be, gangster. We're like, what the fuck? We took that shit as a comedy. Don't get me wrong, a hood classic, a hood comedy, like something that we laugh at, like this is not how it is, but it was comical to us, right? But we didn't take it like, that's right, homie, that's how it really goes down in the area. Bro, if people were actually, if that movie actually motivated people to become gang members, then I don't know what to say no more, bro. Like, if you really seen that movie, bro, and it really inspired you to be a gang member, then I don't know what to tell you, bro. Then I guarantee you they're probably not active right now, if that was their motivation. Because that shit is... Yeah, we took it as cheesy, corny, and all that, bro. All of those movies. Now imagine... Popeye is trying to bone Miklo. He's trying to bone these vatos, and they still let that fool kick it and be a part of the group and a toda madre and in all respect. It's like, bro, this fool's trying to fuck all of y'all. That's crazy. Then you have Miklo over here sucking fingers, my boy. KFC. He's seen that fool as KFC, homie. Fool was finger licking good. Bro, man. Then you have these vatos putting in word, tagging, and they throw the trash can. It's 3-on-3, but they take off anyways. Like, what? Like, why didn't you guys get down? Like, what kind of shit is that, bro? It's 3-on-3, and none of you fools are strapped. Like, why didn't y'all get down? Like, why? Instead, they run, bro. And let me tell you, in real life, that shit wouldn't have happened, fool. There would have been putazos and shit like that, bro. It's like, what kind of shit is that? That shit was just comical, bro. If I was to really go, scene by scene and pointing out all the what kind of shit is this? I was just laughing though. That shit was funny. I'm like, damn it, people really believe that this is how it is, huh? Shit, that's crazy. Have you heard of PMR gang? Yeah, Simon, I heard of PMR. Yeah. They haven't been around for that long, but yeah, they're a real neighborhood. They have a branch right there in Long Beach, and they also have a branch in the Inland Empire in the IE. Have you heard about 8 activists that were arrested in San Bernardino? Yeah, bro. Alex Enamorado, yeah, he does good stuff, bro. Like, his heart is in a good place. Although, a toda madre, everything he does for the raza, and he, his heart's in a good place. I don't always agree with his methods. I feel like he's still young and he's still learning, right? Like, his emotions get the best of him, right? Like, sometimes he gets so heated that he doesn't control what he's saying, right? Like, but if you're an activist, right, if you're front and center and everything like that, you have to be able to keep your composure, because out there are going to be people who are looking to discredit you, right? Who are looking to paint you as a delinquent, a juvenile, a hoodlum, right? So this is the angle that they're going to go to try to unravel your character, right? To show the audience your flaws, right? So that's why, you should know that, right? So you should know that you have to keep your composure. That way they don't do that, right? Because by you now coming aggressively and being like, man, fuck you pigs and you motherfucking putos and what now they could just play that footage and show the audience, this is the activist, this is the guy who's supposed to be this, guy fighting for the greater good. You know what I mean? And they're only going to play like the cursing and the threats like motherfucker, wait till I go to your house. And you know what I mean? And it's like, but that's their strategy. That's their angle. And you have to be able to see that this is a game of chess, bro. And the opposite side is well equipped, ready to play the game just as you are. That's why you have to be able to keep your composure when it comes to overall debating on stuff, right? Because they're going to try to, with anything, right? Even, the DA or whatever, right? In their arguments, they're always going to try to throw things out there to aggravate you, right? To get you to snap, right? To get you out of character, pues, to crash out. You know what I mean? That's why you got to be the bigger person and not give them that ammunition. Right. Because, and at the same time, by you coming and insulting these people and everything, and even though you're right and you have the right to, and I agree with where you're coming from and why you have the right to be mad, right? Because of everything you've been through. But at the same time, if you're looking to get your message across, somebody's going to have to be the bigger person. If you already know that these people are not willing to be the bigger person, then you got to be the bigger person in order to get your point across, right? Because in society, when we're being civil, right, and having real debates and real conversation, you have to be able to get your point across without insulting the other person, bro. That is what real communication, and that's how you really get stuff done. But if you can't make your point across without insulting or threatening the other side, then you're not going to ever win in these debates. Because at the same time, you had activists like, Cesar Chavez or Martin Luther King or anybody out there right throughout, time. They never went to people's houses and plastered them and everything. And I get it. We live in a different time now, social media and stuff like that, right? But by now you burning these people's houses, you're inviting, well, if anybody now wants to come and do something, well, fuck it. I mean, I'm not doing nothing wrong. I'm just right here protesting. But that potentially you could get some guy out there who's maybe not so right in the head to go out there and really do something and hurt these people. And it's going to fall on you. If something would happen to these people that you're protesting outside their houses, if they get hurt because some maniac, grabbed your word, right, and took it some other way, right, where like, I want to help the raza. Yeah, if I kill these fools, then that's really helping my people, right? Because people perceive people's words differently, right? There's a lot of people out there who have a lot of personality disorders, right? So you're playing with fire. You could motivate somebody to go to do something, to that great length. Maybe that's not what you were, like your actual goal was, right? But you still did that though, right? You still lit the match that created the fire though. It's kind of like saying if I leave some guns right there in a pile, right? And I just leave them there, right? And now people grab them, they go rob a bank. And it's kind of like you being like, well, I just left the guns there. I mean, I didn't tell people to go rob a bank or do whatever the hell they did with them. That's on them. I just left them there. Yeah, but if you would have never left them there, this shit would have never happened. So you get what I'm saying? So like, you would have never put the people's address out there, they wouldn't have got hurt. Like, let's say hypothetically, right? But that's how these people are going to play it out, right? that potentially this could have happened. Potentially, any of these things could have happened, right? So now it doesn't make you look so righteous. And you have to be able to see how the media is going to want to spin it, because law enforcement manipulate the media a lot, bro. They're going to use it in their favor. And people, since they're law enforcement, they're already siding with them. So you're already at a disadvantage as it is. So why give them more ammunition, because these guys are dirty and they get down like that, bro. So I gotta be above all of that, and keep our composure, But sometimes it's hard when we come from down here, tempers flare. Homies have, temper problems to us. It happens, Because I have seen some of his protests, and some of them, yeah, se avientan. Some of them, yeah, he was a little... I mean, he could have carried himself a little bit better, I felt. I felt like he was... Like, there was one I seen with this guy from this black neighborhood or whatever, and he was kind of, like, antagonizing him, He's kind of like, get the fuck out of here. Man, you ain't gonna do shit, motherfucker. And, like, he's like, yeah, but do you really have to be, coming at him with that energy, though, bro? Because then it's like, now you're just looking to escalate stuff, and then, like, let's say there's a fist fight and shit like that. Okay, you handled your business, but at the same time, if you're looking to, advocate this message for peace and how people shouldn't get hurt, you're not going to get your message across by fighting. If you're looking to, have people respect people and that there shouldn't be no fighting or you shouldn't be hurting people, you're not going to get your message across if that's what you're doing in order to get your message across. But don't get me wrong, his heart is in a good place, and I believe that, that he's a guy who's trying to do good out there, right? It's just that, his pride, he's prideful in his people, and he sees the injustice and the mistreatment. So, of course, he's going to get the best of him. You know what I mean? But that's the thing. When you're looking to be the face and activist and the voice, yeah, bro, your character is going to be assassinated out there, bro. That's why you got to know how to maneuver around the sharks. You know what I mean? Cesar Chavez or, Martin Luther King weren't out there calling people motherfuckers and bitches, and they weren't doing that. Actually, no activist was actually doing that. Bro, I'm still mad about the money. The money. Which money, son? My Jefe, things blood in and blood out. It's based on true stories. I laughed when he said that to me. A lot of people did, bro. A lot of people thought that shit was real. I ain't even gonna lie. I get that a lot still to this day. Probably American Me movie. American Me was... It was good, but they themselves got a lot of stuff wrong too, right? But they painted it a little bit more so. I felt like American Me would have probably got the message they wanted to get across better if they would have focused more on the street aspect of things, right? Like if they focus on why these individuals turned out the way they turned out, and more about the struggle and the chaos and the emotional effect, instead of trying to build on this whole prison lore, right? The prison lore and power, right? I think that's why that movie backfired on them, right? Because they focused so much on making these guys, like kind of like a Scarface, you know what I mean? Like with so much power and stuff like that, right? Like they spend too much time focusing on that than actually, showing the actual struggle and the shit that homies go through, before they even reach, that point, right? Because once you reach that point, it's because you already have lost complete, fucking hope of, society. But they focus, they prioritize their shit in the wrong place, right? But because they wanted to, hey, action sells and drama sells and, all this sells. So they wanted to make it more like a movie. To make it more like a movie, I mean, you're going to get a lot of people to it's going to influence. The Blood In Blood Out 2 sequel had me dying laughing, especially when I was high. Is that the one where the Vatos Locos one? Man, those bootleg movies are... I ain't even gonna lie, bro, they're trash. In my personal opinion, right? I can't even watch those things. I'm just like, are you serious, bro? Like the ones that I semi-enjoyed was like, Boulevard Nights, End of Watch was pretty cool. Colors was cool. So. Not really. Yeah, I really don't really like watching the hood movies, bro. They're kind of just... Every time I watch hood movies, like I always get distracted, I always, tend to do something else just because, like, once something happens that I know that that's not really how it is, I kind of just lose interest in the movie. Like, it kind of just takes me away from that. Like, man, that's not how that shit goes. Like you're not gonna watch it. Like, for what, bro? That's not even how that shit goes. Like that goofy ass shit, bro. I ain't even trying to see that. Because to me, it's more like people are trying to explain what they think it's like. But it's like, well, that's not how it really is, bro. So like, why am I gonna watch it if I already know that? Is it around LBC? Yes, they are. I don't like brown berets. It's like the KKK. Yes, you are right, my friend. The brown berets are just like the Ku Klux Klan. So are the Black Panthers, bro. Any group like that, I know I had made a video a while back ago talking about, because the homie's like, nah, don't do a video like that, bro. You're just going to fuck up your channel. You're going to ruin your channel. But it's like, bro, I can only be honest, bro. I have a problem with like groups like the Brown Berets or like the saying brown pride or black power or white power. The reason I have a problem with sayings like that, right, and groups like that, is because they are racially motivated. They are racially motivated. They're racially motivated in you're focusing your anger towards some other group, right? They're making you channel your anger towards the whites or towards the blacks or vice versa, right? Or the browns, right? So the groups that have you focus, same with ISIS, the Taliban, and all these other groups out there, right? Where you're focusing your anger towards a certain, group. America did it in war too, right? Towards the Japanese. Then in 9/11, it was towards the Middle Easterns. And then, it's always a group, right? Because you get a following like that a lot faster, right? Where you get people now to, home in their negative energy towards, right? It gets you to get a following a lot quicker, right? Because, obviously negativity is always going to influence faster than positivity, unfortunately, sad but true. So there are groups that, they target, certain groups, and Brown Berets is one of those that targeted like whites, right? That the white is the problem and the white. When the fight is not against the whites are not the villains here. It is the establishment, not whites. It just so happens that most of the establishment are whites. But that doesn't mean that the whole ethnicity is, the devils and scandalous. Just a certain group of individuals who have, seat of power, who have a stupid way of thinking. But that doesn't fall on the whole entire ethnicity. Right? Like where they were saying white people really hate black people. If they really hated black people, bro, there would have never been a civil war. If white people really hated black people, there wouldn't even be a civil war, my guy. God. How could people even say stuff like that when we have history as facts? If whites really hated blacks, there wouldn't have never been a civil war. I'm starting to believe that really people don't just talk out of their asses sometimes. You know what I mean? And groups like that, follow them. Black Panthers do it too. They make the whites, enemy. Same with the Brown Berets. And when you say stuff like black power, white power, or brown pride, right, you're trying to make yourself more superior than the next group, right? So now you're already, throwing your chest at another group, making yourself more superior, to them, right? But now you're setting dividers, meaning that you have to be brown in order to be a part of our movement and our push for peace. And it's, if your message is a push for peace, then why the fuck are you setting dividers? Isn't peace meant for everybody? And shouldn't you want to unite all groups instead of just a certain bunch of groups just to go and, you know, feud with another set of group? Because if you're looking to side to, you know, round up your people just to clash with another group, then you are not looking for peace. Then you are not looking for peace, my guy. Real peace is when you want peace with everybody. And you shouldn't be setting no dividers by ethnicities. That's the problem, and that's the reason why we have the problems that we have right now, because of the dividers. So why would you look to push your message and set the divider already with just the fucking title of you guys? And say that you're, you know, looking for the greater good of humanity. No, you're not. Looking for the greater good of yourself. And if that wouldn't have been true, then you would have never chosen that name as the name of your group. That only shows what your intentions were and who you truly were looking after. You're looking after you and yours. When it's like everybody has battles, everybody has struggles. It's crazy. They're like, nah, bro, look, it's because it's harder to unite everybody, bro. It's a lot easier uniting your own group. Bro, we're talking about uniting a big amount of people. It doesn't matter if it's your group or everybody, bro. The message is going to be the same shit. You're just looking for excuses to justify your means. Don't give me that shit saying that it's a lot easier uniting your race than it is everybody. How stupid that sounds. It's going to be difficult uniting anybody, period. Don't say that it's a lot easier uniting your race. Because believe it or not, if it really was that easy, then in every ethnicity of ours, our own kill our own more than others. Mexicans kill more Mexicans than any other group. Blacks kill other blacks more than any other group. Whites kill other whites more than any other group. And Asians too. So don't give me that shit. You know, the statistics show that you're lying. You can argue with the history. It's crazy. Popeye has me dying and laughing. Serio. When I see Popeye, I'm like, bro, I know they really don't think that people like this motherfucker exist. Give me some chonchon and then everyone's supposed to respect this individual? I don't know about you guys, but that fool would have been fucking... That fool would have been 6 feet under, bro, with that shit. But now that fool's still around and he's still... fool's still right there alongside of them. I very dislike art. That's like getting oppressed by white society. I see the mistreatment and discrimination. No, but see, it's not by white society. It's by the establishment. Because there's a lot of white people who are in the struggle with us. You know what I mean? There's a lot of whites who grow up in the ghettos, who you know, stand with us, who understand, bro, who are not looking just to put up a front, right? Like, there's white people who actually care and understand, right? So it's not to say that white society is like that, right? Just certain ignorant people are like that. You get what I mean? Because there's ignorant people like that in every ethnicity, right? You have like you have Mexicans who hate blacks and whites. You have blacks who hate Mexicans and whites. You know what I mean? Racism doesn't discriminate, right? You have individuals who have a stupid way of thinking in every ethnicity, right? But they don't speak in behalf of everybody, right? They just speak in behalf of themselves. So that's why whenever somebody goes out there, it's kind of like saying that all Germans are evil because of what the Nazis did, right? When we know that that's not true, right? So that's why we can't brand a whole entire group, right? Or even, and that's the reason why I don't label, like, you know, groups by ethnicities, right? Like, say these white supremacy, you know what I mean? Because then people home in on the first word, right? The color, right? Black or brown or white, and then now they reflect it on every person that they see of that color. when you know that your message was meant towards a certain group of individuals, not the whole entire, I don't blame Martin Luther King. Helped the raza, he helped his community. I don't believe Martin Luther King helped the raza, he helped his community. No, Martin Luther King helped the raza too, my boy. You know what I mean? He did, you know. Um, Obviously, of course, his group was front and center too, right? Um, but that was more because more black people were out there, standing alongside with him. And it's not because the raza didn't want to participate or help the blacks in their movements and stuff like that. It was that people have to keep this in mind. Blacks this is their country, right? They, yeah, people could say they brought them over here, but it doesn't matter. They're Americans. While Latinos, us Hispanics, were seen as illegal immigrants. And because back then, a lot of families were here illegally, right? So they couldn't be out there protesting and risk the chance of getting arrested and getting deported. See, black people didn't have to worry about getting deported, but the raza did, right? And that's why it made it a lot more harder for raza to actually get up and go actually help and, push. Now you see raza out there protesting and everything like that, not because all of a sudden the raza became brave, but because all those people that are out there now protesting that raza are the ones that are born here already. Their parents may be from other places, but they are legit, American citizens. So they could get arrested, probably whatever, and they won't get deported, right? So they don't have to worry about what, back then's generation had to worry about getting deported, right? Because then now who's going to take care of your family? How you going to feed and wooty woo? They had more on the, to risk out there. You know what I mean? But, if the raza didn't have to worry about that, you would have seen more of a stronger, but don't get me wrong, there was Browns out there, protesting alongside Martin Luther King. There's pictures and everything, Have you heard about the modern movie Sin Hombres, where this guy El Salvador wants to debrief from MS? Nah, I haven't, my boy. Shut up. What are you guys talking about? Oh, a little bit of everything, my boy. Hey, go subscribe to the homie Jaguar Man channel. Homie is a wise OG from the actual streets, a real individual from the actual streets. I can stamp that. I mean, homie's actually from his area, from the streets. He puts out good content, I recommend it. You know what I mean? It's a trip. He's from my area, from the Iwene Valle. Righteous individual. And this is me saying it, bro, and that our neighborhoods have their issues and stuff like that, you know what I mean? But, real recognize real, bro. And he's a solid individual. You ever watch Self? Never. Nah, I haven't, my boy. More people need a little bit more mota. Yeah, probably. Man, Popeye will get more than a calentada, my boy. That fool will get a minas arrastrada. Nah, ese pinche Popeye, bro. Popeye was really in the barrio, my boy. My boy, we would have had that fool like a piñata, homie. Would have been dragging that fool fucking down the boulevard butt naked from the Ranfla. Che vato gay. Lee, new movie, The World Behind. Nah, I haven't. Is it a good movie or what? See, the thing with me is I'm more into documentaries than into movies. I really don't like fiction. I know documentaries, people see them as boring. I actually like them because it's real. It's like real shit that really happened, like real events. Like, you know what I mean? Compared to like something that's fictional, that I know it's fictional, it's kind of like, Like, I prefer honesty. like realism. I like realism because it doesn't get any more colder, stranger, darker, and scandalous than real life. Even the most craziest horror movie that you could think of out there and all the crazy shit that has happened, real individuals have done more crazier and heinous shit. I mean, people have to get their ideas from somewhere, and they got them from real life. All these like Freddy Kruegers and Michael Myers, they were inspired by real individuals. They're real serial killers who were really doing crazy shit. Obama exclusive. Oh, serio? Oh shit, I'm gonna have to scope that out then. Yeah, Papa is a maniaco. Pinche vato. Him and now. Well, there's a ray of sunshine. Take that ride or get ridden over. I would have fucking knocked the shit out of that fool already right there. Chavato letting that fool talk to him like whatever. Hey, like they expect me to believe like when they fucking punked Miklo and they're playing football with that fool's leg, they expect me to believe that the raza was just gonna stand back and let that happen. Puta madre. Mira nomás. Like, damn, y'all really think that the raza was just gonna be kicking back right there and letting that shit happen? Psh, y'all lost your minds already, bro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, my break's over. You gotta get back to it. We out.